My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And we are reunited once again, and it feels so good. For our favorite episode and yours, what we're watching. Actually, I don't know if it is our favorite episode. I really like the drama exchanges quite a bit myself.
Yeah,
but I do.
drama
But these are
fun.
These are a lot less work to put together,
It's
and
true,
everyone
very true.
everyone likes them, so it's fine.
If Natalia sounds sick, it's because she is.
It's because I am. I'm like
It's
I'm
true,
on
it
death.
is.
Listen, I'm on death's door, but like I gotta be sicker than this for me not to show up. Like I've shown up. Just decrepit crypt keeper vibes.
I loved the one time you sounded like Roz from Monsters Inc.
Listen, my body, it don't work right, and I'm sick all the time. So, and I just normally I don't sound it, but today I've had a really nasty cold since Monday, so I've just been. I even preemptively called in sick to work tomorrow. I was like, "Yo,
good girl."
Well, like, listen, it's calling. It sounds like someone actually expected me to be there. It's more just being like, yeah, I'll get you those files later than normal. I ain't going in. I set my own hours. Very lucky on that front. But anyway, today it's the What We're Watching episode. That's the episode where we tell you some stuff we've been watching. And maybe you want to add it to your list. Who knows? I randomly select what order we go in, so it's not the same every time. And this week I am going first. So you get to listen to this incredibly soothing voice one more time.
It'll lull you into the episode.
So I do a thing where a lot of the times there's a show I really want to watch, but I'm watching so many currently airing shows that I refuse to start it until it's finished. And then I can watch all of it at once, like do like a nice binge over a couple days. Or like usually like I'll set myself like, hey, I'll watch it like a couple episodes a day over a week. It'll be great. So a show had just ended on the 17th, and that is A Virtuous Business on Netflix. And when it finally dropped, I was like, I'm going to watch it all. And I thought I would watch it over like a week and be done like next week. No, well, it turns out when you're sick and can't get out of bed, there's not much you can do but just keep watching a show that's really good. And so that's what I did. So the basic premise of the show is there's this girl and she's gorgeous. And it's played by Kim So-yeon, who is dropped it. All the women in this are just the most stunning women you've ever seen. Okay, just like anyway. And she has a real loser of a husband. Okay, and like she has a cute little kid who's very sweet, but like her husband sucks. He's like constantly getting into fights. He's constantly getting fired. Like he drinks too much. And she's like, but she like sticks by him because she's like a good lady, right? And she's very like conservative and timid, okay? And everyone's like, man, that girl has such a loser husband. Through shenaniganery, she makes friends with this other local mom who has 4 daughters and an unemployed husband because he was an ex-con, but he's actually the nicest husband in this whole show. Is this ex-con? He fucking loves his wife, okay? Played by Kim So-yeon, who's like the best part of the show. And together they attend a seminar for at-home sales because they're looking for work. But the at-home sales is from a company that makes racy lingerie and sex toys that they import from the US. And she then decides, I am going to get over my like conservative like timidness, and I'm going to sell lingerie and sex toys to the women of these small towns around where I live.
And what era was this? Like
this would be 1992. 1992.
Okay. All right.
And when I tell you, like, they got 1992, okay?
Nice.
Like, it wasn't one of those, like, they phoned in, like, what people wore and stuff. No. It was good. And then they recruit, basically the main woman is, like, a part-time maid for the pharmacist's wife. And so they recruit the pharmacist's wife, played by Kim Sung-ryun, who, I'm sorry, is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen in my entire life. Are you kidding me? And she's married to Kim Won-hae, who's just sort of a doof husband, but like you kind of like him by the end. And then the local single mom hairdresser, who's like a real modern woman. Okay, like she's young, she's sexy, she dates around, she's modern. Her little son is like the complete opposite of her, and is like he likes reading like political magazines and stuff. He's like 6 years old.
Nice.
And together they just form this crew selling their wares. There's also a new cop comes to town, played by Yan Woo-jin, looking really nice. There's a lot of good-looking people. It's just KDrama is full of good-looking people. It's just business. But anyway, he was delightful, and he's a cop who's looking for his birth mom. And then there's a little 30-year-old kidnapping mystery that happens. It's fun. There's a little sum for everyone. I loved it. I one day when I started it, I was like, okay, I'll watch a couple episodes. I watched 9 episodes in a row without stopping. I stopped only for medication and tea. And then I was like, no, Natalia, go to bed. Like, take some NyQuil, pass out. And then when you get up, you have this to look forward to. And then the next day, I woke up and watched all the rest of the episodes. It was so good. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. There was like a little bit of romance. It was fine, whatever. But like the relationship, the friendship between these ladies is so wonderful, and all of the characters, like all the 4 women, they're all so different, but you can see why they become such good friends. Like it all makes sense, and like everything about the show is so earnest and heartfelt that you're just like, this was so nice. This was just a nice show to watch about 4 completely different women finding common ground together and, helping the local ladies out with some sexy lingerie and sex toys,
Nice.
It was really good. I loved it. It's on Netflix, so you can watch. Pretty easy to find. All the episodes are out. The episodes were pretty long, I will admit. They were like on the longer end, like over an hour each episode, but like you don't notice that as you're watching it. It's really good. That was about it. I loved it. I think everyone should check it out. Virtuous Business. When I say it's about sex toys, there's no sexual content in the show.
They're just like Mary Kay.
Like if there's yeah, pretty much. Like
there might as well have just been.
It's Tupperware, but like
if you were worried that this was like an R-rated, it's not. Like they're like people in the show do have sex, but it's like a real like they smooch and fade to black situation. Like it's not like a it's not like hit the spot or something. You know what I mean? Like it's very much like a PG-13 show that the worst you see are some like vibrators. Not even like the ones that look like penises. They're the ones that just look like personal massagers. You know what I mean? So it's like it's very tame on that front. So do not. And like some women wear lingerie.
I feel like from the stuff I'm seeing on like social media, for some people this is like their first K-drama. They picked it up. Like Netflix like gave it to them. Or like very early on. Like there's a lot of people who are like, I just finished this Virtuous Business. What else is there like this?
Nothing. The problem is they've played themselves with this one.
Yeah.
Because like it's so good that you're just like, wait, oh no, like. But it's okay because they're putting happiness on Netflix, so like they can turn it into happiness.
It's not the same vibe.
It's not the same vibe. It's equally as good. It's equally as good. Well, I suppose they could go for something like Move to Heaven or something. It's a much sadder vibe. Like this one does have like sad moments, but it is not a sad show, whereas Move to Heaven is a sad show. Well, like I guess that would be my recommendation, where it's like if you want something along the same lines of quality and like storytelling setup, like go Move to Heaven. But Virtuous Business, good vibes. Okay, a little pun to myself there. Good vibes in the show. Thank you for that pity laugh. I appreciate the lady pity laugh for me. I really liked it, so you should check it out. Amanda, what is something you have been watching?
Just this week, I started Desperate Mrs Seonju. It's daily. Started literally this week. I've watched 2 episodes. I was going to sit down and watch some today, but life. But if you're familiar with dailies, they're half an hour, 5 times a week. So it's easy to pick up and catch up. So this one, the poster for it looks like a Western, which is weird, but okay. And it is tagged with vengeance or revenge or something. So I'm like, okay, which kind of makes sense because here's the premise. Mrs. Seonju is an interior decorator. She has been working her butt off for like a decade to put her husband through architecture school, to put him, like, he went to get his MBA in America, and she has been supporting him this whole time while raising their daughter. You know, like, she is a busy woman, and she loves her husband, and she is just so excited because he calls and says, everything's done. I'm on my way back home. I got a job at an architect firm. I'm headed home. She's like, perfect. We'll come pick you up in the airport. And he's like, no, it's fine.
Oh, listen, I sense a dusty ass man coming up.
You got it right. So, meanwhile, in America, there's also this girl whose dad owns an architect firm. And she's married to an architect, and they have a son. And he's such a good husband. He's willing to, care for their son, do his job as an architect, and raise their son. He's a very involved father, while she is off getting her MBA or whatever she was doing.
So the reverse. Yeah. Classic.
They're on the airplane. You see these things where she's like telling the people she works with about what a good husband he is, how he's had to put up with so much. You see a scene of him like standing in his like fancy apartment in America overlooking the skyline of the city in this big spacious apartment, and she's talking about how he told her that like with the money that she sent, it was only enough for him to like share an 1-room apartment with 4 roommates and all this stuff. He barely has enough room to like lay out flat. You're like,
boo.
Okay.
Boo this man.
Okay. Right. And so then you see him, he's using her money to come back home on like, first class seats and everything. And this chick comes and sits down next to him, and they start going at it. And there's other people around them, and they're just like, right. And he's like, no, like, this is straight to Korea. People we know might be here. She's like, who cares? And they just like go at it.
Damn, girl.
Like, okay. And like, at one point she pulls his wedding ring off, and she's like, oh, tell me the story of your wedding ring again, and how you asked her. Like, he's telling her the romantic story of how he like proposed to his wife and how much he loved her and all this stuff. And she's like, oh, that's so cute, and puts the ring back on his finger, and you're like,
you know what? They're really setting up a good villain at this point. You know what I mean? Like, they're making sure you hate these people.
Right. So meanwhile,
good job, writers. Good job.
Her dad owns the architect firm where her husband, the architect, also works. But her husband, the architect, is like, I just want to be an architect and a dad and a husband. I don't want to be the boss of this company. So that's why she's gone off to get like an MBA in business or whatever, so that she can take over Dad's company. Now, Dad doesn't really think she's suited to take over the company, and Dad really, really likes his son-in-law. Like, the dad's a really good dude. So that's nice. She has 2 sisters, an older sister who is widowed, and a younger sister who is flighty and single. So obviously stuff's going to happen there because it's a daily. Everybody's got to have a romance. evil girl has a sister as well who is an actress, but not a good one. But she doesn't have to be because she's, rich. Yeah. So she's like,
listen, life is set on easy mode when you have money. Like,
right?
Really.
So she has, so far at the point that I'm at, she's bumped into the husband of the other woman. And they had a bit of a, kerfuffle with each other because his son did something that upset her, and she got mad at first, and then she felt bad about it, and she apologized and stuff. But, they just didn't get off on the right foot. But they live in the same neighborhood, so that's going to be fun. And
listen, that's part of the daily joy,
right?
That's the energy you bring in a daily.
And they both, at the point that I'm at, they both went with their kids to pick up their spouses, and their spouses were like, well, as soon as we step off this plane, we have to pretend that we're not together. Let's just be together for a little bit longer. So they both text their spouses with their kids who are in the airport right now and say, oh, we missed our flight. So we won't be home until later. And meanwhile, the daughter of the guy forgot her sign, her special sign, welcome home daddy sign that she made. So they are coming back into the airport as he is leaving with his arm around his side chick. So yeah, so that's the premise.
A classic caper.
If you read the description on MDL, it's the divorce is going to happen early.
Immediately,
it's a divorce.
We don't have to root for them to stay together. No, this dusty ass man's getting shuffled off. Don't worry about it.
And I think the premise is that they're going to go, okay, so let's get married. I think it's going to be kind of a contract marriage situation where the two good parents are going to be like, well, it would be great. Why don't we get married?
Like a
raise
five
our
enough
kids together,
Five enough type situation, yes.
And
okay, now you've got my attention.
The actress was in Five Enough. So,
you've got my attention.
There you go.
So yeah, there's a lot of good little premises, a lot of setup. I'm not enjoying at the moment I don't want to watch her find out her husband's cheating on her. I'm not looking forward to that part. But because it seems like that's going to get dealt with quickly, you can see the fun that's going to come up. And I like her relationship with her sisters so far, too. So I think there's going to be a lot of fun in this one. Nice. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes.
Good all 100 and whatever episodes.
Yeah, 120 episodes.
That seems like a lot until you realize that's just a couple.
It's just
months.
2.5 hours a week, right? Which
it's not actually
normal K-drama way, but yeah. It's a lot to get in on the ground floor because it feels a lot when you got 40 episodes to catch up on. When it's 3, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah. So, you gotta stay on top of it so it doesn't get overwhelmed.
Yeah. Definitely with those shows, do not binge a show like that. Don't do it.
No.
Start in the beginning. That's the way. If you get it in, then you kind of make it your routine, and then
just make it just for these dailies. What you got to do is you just got to make it what you watch during lunch.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about what you're picking.
Drink coffee.
Drink your coffee, put on, while you're eating your morning breakfast, watch your daily, and then while you get ready for
But I think that's really important contextually for enjoyment for a show.
Yes.
You really have to.
Do not watch YouTube.
Speaking as someone who has watched bits of a daily in a binge situation,
it gets a lot.
They're also made to do that, though. That's the purpose of them. So you can have them in the background while you're doing your daily life.
Exactly. And this is not the Mac Jane kind. It's more of the
So far, you're
listen. We got a lot of episodes to fill.
That's a lot of time.
But the Mac Jane ones don't tend to have the screechy mother-in-law characters the same way.
That's true. They're usually more sinister.
The family dailies have these
over the top, ridiculous,
over the top, screechy moms and stuff, and yeah, if you
Beauty
binge
and Mr.
that,
Romantic,
it gets
yes,
really
yes.
annoying. So like you
Young
can take
lady
the
and
mother-in-law
gentleman.
in small doses, but in big doses, the mother-in-law is going to make you want to like rip your ears off. So
yeah. Do not binge. Don't
do not.
No.
Don't do it.
So how about you, Jessie? What have you been watching?
So Netflix has decided that they are going to be putting out a lot of Japanese dramas. It's absolutely insane for me because I can't not at least attempt all these. I didn't think I would ever be. I just didn't know that there would ever be this time that like I'd have this like worry, you know? Like before I was just like every year I was just like, can this be the year we get more J-dramas? And here we are, like it's happening. So I figured I would talk about one that dropped like a week ago and I watched within 2 days after work. So I just binged it, and that's Beyond Goodbye.
I did that too.
It was a great binge.
I was gonna watch it this weekend. So
it like literally like the day that we're recording it, like a week ago, was when it dropped on Netflix, and all the episodes are up. It's like a produced by Netflix type thing, so it's not one of the airing ones. It is a trope that is very popular in like dramas, but I guess like not like recent dramas, which is the love passes away and one of their body parts, like our heart, is transplanted into another person. So that's like the basic premise of this like drama. The girl is very much in love with her very new fiance, and they get into an accident, and she survives and he doesn't, and his heart gets transplanted into another person, and kind of fate, weird fantasy like things happen, and she is paired with the person, and you find out that they have kind of always been around each other too. And so it like kind of the drama is like more about like dealing with having someone pass away when you aren't expecting it and still grieving for them, but then kind of being reminded of them through another person, because in the drama it's the what's his face, Sakaguchi Kantaro's character, he like starts to do some of the things that her fiance used to do too. So like she's like instantly connected to him by that. And I think they do some like really interesting things. There's a lot of gray area involved, but like I think one of the things that they keep up with the entire drama, this is really not like spoilers or anything, it's very clear she's in love with her fiance, not in love with the new guy with the heart. Like he's just the vessel that has the heart of her lover. And so it like it has a lot of like depth in the way that it's written that way. It is a little slow too, and I think a lot of people, I think it's very divisive on especially on the MDL comments, like a lot of people are not into it. But I think like it does some really good stuff with like just relationships of just people too, because I think she has like a lot of good relationships within her circle and lists the people that she talks to. One of the other big things about this show is if you really like coffee, this is going to be your show.
Coffee, man.
Because like essentially like when she first meets the love of her life, like she's had some like issue, and they drink coffee, and like so coffee is associated to this really good like place in her time, her like her life. And then she goes and works at like a coffee bean farmers in Hawaii's, like, and like gets into coffee, and then like eventually like moves back to Japan and works at a like a coffee company. So it's like very much like every episode very like coffee
You're
driven.
gonna learn something
Well,
new
yeah, like
about
I mean, like
well, then it's like, and then oh, he wanted to plant this coffee tree, and now it's so big. You know, like there's always some coffee thing going on.
Yeah, like I mean, like she's like drinking coffee. She's like also like selling the coffee. She's finding like places like as like a kind of like a, I don't even know, like she ends up like working at like a coffee place that like is opening up in the campus that Sakaguchi Kintaro's character works at. Like they're opening a coffee shop, and she kind of comes in as like kind of like a consultant and how to like run the store and like what would be good for like the type of blend of coffee that you should be selling to like college students over like this being like a coffee shop like outside of the place. So it's like very much coffee. There's coffee in every episode. So if you don't like coffee, and also you're gonna
landscapes.
Get a lot of it.
The landscapes are
gorgeous. The cinematography in this show is incredible. Like the way that they set up shots are so good. They like use everything that they have. They very clearly were in Hawaii during the times they were in Hawaii. Like you just got so much into it. And the entire show, I was like, yeah, this is a great show. I love this show. And I am sure that a bunch of people won't like this show.
Yeah, I definitely thought, I was like, oh, I was like, not going to like this show.
I was watching, I was like, there's people going to hate this show.
That's like, the thing is, it's like, not every show is for every watcher.
That's true.
You know?
Exactly.
People need to realize that. Clearly, if you don't like it, not for you.
One little thing I wish to highlight, the guy that got the heart has a wife.
Yes, absolutely.
That little detail is an important aspect.
It's a very, very important thing. But you know, like you can like a show and not like the actions of the characters.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
you're not always supposed to.
That's true. Right. Like, yeah, and I think they do kind of explore this weird, like in between a lot. It's not just like cut and dry in terms of the relationships, and it's like
and to me it's obvious that he doesn't know how to really perceive of himself because not only did he get this heart, he got some memories too, so like it's really there's a lot of blending going on with what he's trying to do.
Yeah, because there's a lot of times he's kind of like also wanting to be like the person to be like helping this girl who is clearly grieving, and he's the only one who can help her because he literally has these memories, and he starts to like kind of take on the personality of the other guy. But then there's also like you get the sense of like him just being very like his life being kind of dry, and then he gets sick, so he's never been anything but kind of in this like mundane area, and he's like finally being a little bit more outgoing, and not like because he's with her, he's like more of like he's outgoing because he'll like stop and play the piano in the middle of an airport. Like it's not because he's tied to another girl. He still clearly loves his wife as well. Like it gets messy because it has to, but like
yeah, I think it's so well done. I think
the way they do it is so good. And the main female, who is Aramura Kasumi, she is in that Meguro Ren drama. I can't remember the name of it. It's the one where he finds out he has a kid.
Okay, yeah.
She plays his like current girlfriend in that. And I thought she did really good in that. And like in this, she also does really good. Like you can see how like she's good with like complex characters and complex like situations. And so it really just like helped, because she is the main character of the show. Like it's kind of like the guy is kind of like there, but like it's her show technically.
It feels like the two main characters are her and her fiance that is not there.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, and they do have some like moments where they like go like do flashbacks of like points in their like relationship together. So you do see who the fiance was, and he was just this very like free, outgoing, very energetic, but very like loving person. And like you can tell like that by like everybody else who had been around him as well. They all like have this like grief of him not being kind of like the light in their lives. So it plays around with a lot of it. And I think that just like the relationship may be like weird and messy and not, like a lot of people won't like it, but I think they do it in a really interesting way. I think the like added thing where like he can like see things from their relationship or like start to like remember like people that he's never met before, like kind of fantasy angle. They do it kind of very realistically, and it's not like overpowering. It's kind of just like very fuzzy memories, and I think they do that well. Cool. But like all in all, it was like a solid drama for me. Like I only stopped because I had to go to sleep. So then I had to wake up to go to work. And then I was like, as soon as I came back, it was like, click. You're
like, all right, I got, listen, I take my jacket off. My feet up.
Get your canned food
open.
Okay.
Okay, snack acquired.
I don't even need dinner.
I binged it in a day, which like,
it's nice.
It's 8 episodes.
That's saying something.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, it's so, I really do think they did such a good job with it.
I'm excited to watch it.
So like it is very complex, but I also want to say like most of it is very soft. Yeah. Like it's very difficult. Like you have to just kind of go experience it. And yes, I think there are a lot of people, it is not necessarily for them because the complex gray areas. Like if you don't like gray area stuff, it's not going to be.
It is like a mellow and a slice of life combined.
Okay.
Like when it's slice of life, it's slice of life, and there's just like some really great moments.
And also like it is about grief, so like again, if you can't like you have to be able to handle that, and you have to kind of be able to appreciate that within the show since it's such a huge theme. Like it's not just a little, like that's the main thing we're dealing with throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yes, I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So everybody should watch it. It's on Netflix right now. You can watch the whole thing, binge it with us.
Yeah. Sky, what else have you enjoyed?
So aside from that, like, so I binged that, and I did a lot of like sampling. Okay, so like
that happens. You know, you want to find.
I'm not going to be able. So like, as far as that's the one that I spent the most amount of time. And then. But I'm going to talk about one that I've only watched like an episode and a half of, okay? Just because I know it's pretty popular these days. It might not be necessarily in the corners of social media that we've seen, but Gangnam B-Side. I'm going to talk about it because I want to. So Gangnam B-Side is not for everybody. It is not for everybody. It is, when I say the gritty side of Gangnam, like it is brutal. It's just mostly just brutal. So like you have to be okay.
It's about bad people doing bad things.
Yes. And you don't get a lot of, there's not really relief from it. Like as far as, it's not like, oh, here's a little chuckle. It's not that. Like it's not even pulling any of those types of punches. So I want to highlight for everybody, like for instance, if you're a Ji Chang-wook girly, and you're going, I'm gonna press play because he's wearing a fur coat and an earring.
No, cut it.
You have to be okay with. He also has a baseball bat, and he's gonna use that thing. Like you're gonna have to be okay with that. So I want to give that little PSA, I suppose, because I do think
it's not a rom-com.
It's not a rom-com. And I'm not even gonna reveal more of his character than that, because to me, even in the first like couple of episodes, they already try to give a couple of twists, and so like I can't say much more. I do want to say another main character is played by the guy from Happiness, the like general type dude who's like kind of runs all the
he's excellent
research stuff. Like anytime he pops up, it's like you kind of you're like, what is he gonna do? And well, he's a detective, and he's a very, very good one. But he's also he kind of took down a corrupt department within the police, and he kind of got not in trouble. his peers didn't like him after that because they didn't trust him anymore, even though he did.
So he's an actual good cop, is what you're telling me. And
yeah, but he also
all the other cops hate him. Got it.
But you also kind of figure out like he has a teenage daughter who is friends with some of these girls who are in the bar scene of Gangnam, who are, you know, at risk for a lot of these things that are occurring. You're seeing like there's someone that you kind of see like an idol pop up, not a real K-pop, but someone playing an idol type person, who is not what he seems like, involved in some really bad stuff. And when I say really bad, it is as bad as you're assuming. So like you have to be okay with like, so all the red flags for the people that should not be passing go for that show. But if you're okay with that stuff, it's very, very well done. It is very neon, brutal stuff. And it's pretty twisty, just even an episode and a half in. So like I can only imagine. I think it's done now.
Might be.
Let me check. I do not have it on my. Of course I don't. So, but
I think so.
I've seen it's like really popular.
Say that they were like getting their 7-day free trial just so they could like binge it now that it was done or something.
And it's, you know, like if it's somebody that's totally cool, not with just, and I just want to emphasize, it's not just an action show. It is the tough stuff. And so, but like, I'm totally fine with those types of shows. I sometimes enjoy them. So like, I'm having a fine time. It's just pretty brutal. And it is also, you don't really know what's going on in the beginning very much. You're just kind of having to go for the ride. Just like, it's very show don't tell. So you're having to go like, oh, okay, what are we doing? They're not going to be like, this person has this role and this is exactly what, you know, it's not, it's not kitschy. It's not funny.
You mean it's doing effective storytelling through visuals and action rather than exposition? Oh my!
I think BB's in it too. By the way,
yes, she is.
Oh yeah.
By the way, it ends on the 27th.
Yeah.
So 2 days after this.
So around the corner.
Yeah.
So like perfect time to start it.
Hulu for the United States. I'm sure for Canada and elsewhere, Disney Plus, I believe.
It is on Disney Plus. It is indeed.
But I am enjoying it. I'm probably gonna take it in bits. I'm not. Some of these types of shows, I don't know.
You gotta pace yourself. You get. You're like, okay, I've seen enough stabbing and blood for today.
Like,
I'm gonna just go relax for a little while.
It is kind of funny though. Sometimes, like, because I didn't look at the whole cast before I pressed play, just a few of the like the main leads. But it's funny, like when someone in the cast that eventually showed up was like a bad dude. I was like, the husband from Search WWW. Hello. Yes, you sometimes play a baddie. I know you.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
I see what we're doing.
So sometimes
someone who's got like cop face. Okay, I bet you're gonna be a corrupt cop. Okay, I see what's going on. Yeah,
it's pretty much gonna be about corruption and. I mean, I know what's gonna happen, but I can't really feel that. But like, it's gonna be a good time. Like, but it is definitely the first episode. You're like, whoa, that's a lot of blood. To me, you didn't like see. To me, you don't see the brutality happening. It's just that you see the after effects of it. You see bodies. You see injuries. The brutality you see is like people getting beat up with a baseball bat. You just don't see blood flying everywhere. Like, you don't see the excessive blood or something happening, but you see the after effects of it. And definitely excessive drug use. That's kind of the main.
And you know what? In Korea, that's even worse.
Yeah,
that's even worse. That's worse than any other crime you can possibly commit. It seems.
Right.
It's like, oh, this idol character, he's huffing some sugar. Got it. Okay, I see what's going on. So, yeah. I mean, I think the people who like it are probably going to really enjoy it because I think it's really well shot and stuff. So
if you like your crime thrillers, you'll probably enjoy this crime thriller.
But so, like, you know, if you are Ji-Chang-wook girly, just know that he's not just like strutting around just with his outfit. It is he's doing things that you might not like. I'm not sure, since everyone was all whatever about Queen Wu. I'm not
sure. He was good in Queen Wu as well, okay? He was good in that too. Fine. It's divorce the person from the character. It's okay. It's okay.
So how about you, Natalia? Round 2.
For anyone who needs a break from the violence, I've been watching a little show, and it's very cute. It's very classic Thai college BL. And it does star my boy, Little Earth. So the littlest Earth. There's Little Earth, Medium Earth, and Bigger. This is Little Earth. The one from Until We Meet Again. Little Earth. And it's called Fourever You, but it's FOUR because there's 4
of course
main love lines or whatever it is.
Oh.
You can watch it for free on
I guess it's not
YouTube.
a part of the 4 like GL universe.
No. It's written out, not the number 4. It's written 4 as in the number ever and then you. And it is on YouTube for free. You can watch it for free. So the basic plot is a real classic situation, okay? There's this guy, his name's Easter. His sister's name is Christmas. It's pretty cute. Cute, right? Anyway, Easter's a first-year student in college, and he's not engineering. It is
what's his major?
His major is like veterinary science. So like they're really pulling out. But don't worry, because there's a group of med students that come into this, so they're not straying too far from the classics. So he had like a really bizarre sort of like he kind of got ghosted by his high school boyfriend, okay, who just like disappeared one day. And so he was like, oh, I never want to see that guy again. But like he's still in love with him. Let's be honest. And who's the hottest guy on campus? His ex, who was like a couple years older than him, who immediately is like, I've been waiting to see you once more to rekindle our romance because there was a reason why I disappeared. It wasn't because I didn't like you. But meanwhile, he's now like been gaslighting himself, this main character, into thinking that the reason that like they never like they weren't like officially dating. It was one of those like they were in like the flirting stage. Was he was convinced that he was actually in love with his sister. So so when this guy's like, nah, bruh, big ol' homo, like very gay. You're gay, I'm gay for you. And it takes like a few episodes of that. Meanwhile, you have this main dude's roommate who is pretty much a bit of a layabout, okay? Like he goes to school sometimes, but mostly he just plays video games and goes to his part-time jobs. And one night, he's out with his buddies, and they get into a drunken bar fight. And one of the hot med students intervenes and brings him, like, this med student is hot and rich. You're classic. And like brings him home to sober up. But while he brings him home, the guy like breaks a bunch of shit at his house. So now he's like, oh, I guess you have to pay me back. And he's like, but I don't have any money. So, you know, like it's like a classic, like everything. There's nothing special about this. And you feel like there's nothing like, oh wow, they're really doing something new and unique with this show.
Or they're really subverting.
No,
blah, blah,
they're
blah.
not. But it's still really nice. Like, because like people aren't awful. Like people are just, you know, situations happen, but like they're just people doing things. And listen, this I've never seen the guy playing like the main dude's med student. He was in like a few things. So he was in Century of Love, which I do also recommend people watch because it was excellent, where he played kind of the second male lead in that, sort of. But this actor, he do be looking at Earth like he's selling it. Okay? He's selling that he's 100% in love with this man. He would do anything for this guy. Like, he makes you believe it the whole show, which sometimes in these sort of lower budget, like, I'm not saying this is low budget, but like just sort of like low effort is what I'm going to call them, storytelling, because it's just like rehashing the same plot over and over. You know what I mean? Like, they don't put that much. Like, listen, we all love Two Moons. Okay, we did, but let's be honest. God was not selling. That he was in love with Bass here, which is fun because Bass is also in this show. He plays the roommate. Anyway, the show is delightful. I'm really enjoying it. It's on YouTube. There's like 8 episodes. The day that we're recording this, so the Thursday, episode 8 was this morning, just dropped. And it's just a nice, like, I just wake up on Thursdays. And I like we were talking about with the dailies, I drink my cup of tea, and I just press play on episode whatever, part 104, and then I'm just like, okay. They split it up into, you gotta and then sometimes they don't like auto. It's not like the first option, and so you have to like go to the channel and hunt it down. But like it's just like a really chill, nice show that. It's just like, it's not reinventing the wheel, but it do be rolling nice and smooth. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good vibe, and sometimes you just need a good vibe. Sometimes you're really sick, and you just need a good vibe to feel better, you know? And it's giving exactly what it has promised to deliver, which is a nice, like, 16 and up experience. Like, listen, I don't know. Listen, I'm on episode 8, and nothing that risque has happened. Like, so I think this would be okay for teens. Like, don't take me at my word here. Like, sure, there is, like, in the first scene, like, right when it starts, he's having, like, a dream about the two of them in bed, but you don't see anything. It's just sort of like romantic smooching, and then he wakes up and he's like, I gotta get that man out of my head. So, like, but very, very chill. I think it would be, to be honest, I think it would be fine for, like, 15 and up to watch. There wouldn't be any problems. And I think actually a lot of 15 and ups would probably enjoy it, because there's a lot of Fujos out there. I remember the fan fictions I would read. So yeah, no, I think this would be really fun for that sort of, for anyway. But I'm really enjoying it. It's nice chill vibes. That's it. Amanda, what else have you been watching?
I have been watching a J-drama that is available in Places.
Classic.
I love Places.
I love Places.
We frequent Places often,
But, like, seriously, if you look at the poster for it, it feels like something that Vicky might pick up someday. So
They probably will.
I have a suspicion we might be watching. I have a suspicion I know which one this is, and I have a suspicion I might also be watching it. Okay, go on.
So, it's called Usotoki Rhetoric, and it is set in the 1930s, which is really cool because it's set in a sort of medium-sized village. So you've got sort of poorer folk and richer folk, and a really cool melding of, like, people who are wearing more traditional, like, Japanese clothing and traditional Japanese housing and stuff, with more, like, modern Western stuff going on. So there's, like, dudes in suits and girls in, like, it's fun. The costuming is very fun in this. The basic premise is our main female lead, she leaves home. She was raised in a small village. She leaves home because ever since she was a child, she can hear it when people lie. There's, like, a metallic tinge to words. And they do a really good job of showing that to you. They do, like, put a kind of a filter over people and add a kind of ringing sound when people's lines are lies. And this did not make her popular in her small village.
Shocker.
Like, when the butcher says, "Oh no, honey, I was playing with the boys," and she's like, that's weird. Why is that man lying to his wife, Mom? You know, like, it does not go over well. It's hard to make friends. It's, you know, so her mom has a new baby now, and she doesn't want to make life hard for her new siblings. She doesn't want, you know, she doesn't want them to grow up being the weirdos, you know, sister or brother. So she's like, I'm out of here. Bye. Unfortunately, she has like no money, so she's super hungry. She winds up like trying to like scavenge food from like a temple kind of altar situation, and passes out. And these two detectives, a police detective and a private detective who are best friends, find her and they carry her back into town, make sure she gets some food. The kid at this restaurant, he gets caught out in a lie because she hears him. And I think they do a really good job in this show of discussing the difference between good lies and bad lies, and how she says to this kid, you can't tell a lie that is going to ruin somebody else's life. Like, that's not okay, right? And it gets through to him, and he's like, okay, cool. He gets upset. He apologizes, everything. And this private detective is like, that's interesting that she knew that he was lying. You know, like how. And so it's a whole thing. He invites her to like come stay back at his place. And basically she becomes his sort of apprentice, like, assistant. And it's just a different mystery every week. Like, the next morning, the kid goes missing. And she feels guilty because she thinks he ran away because she exposed him. You know, like, it's a whole thing. So, like, there's a whole... They have to go find this kid. And there's been a couple of... I'm on episode 5. There's been a couple of murders. There's been kid going missing. There's been a kidnapping of sorts. There's been a bunch of stories, and they're just mysteries. Like, episodes 4 and 5 have kind of a creepy, almost like horror vibe to them, but it is one of those situations where it is a murder. It's not like the only supernatural thing in this show is the fact that she can hear it when people are lying. So they work out like a signal. If people are lying, she like crosses her fingers and looks at her boss like, and he's like, okay, cool, gotcha, you know, like, but if she folds her hands neatly, then that means that was the truth. And sometimes it's weird because you could swear the person must be lying, but they're telling the truth. And she's going, that doesn't make sense because that can't be the truth because we know it's not the truth. But then
sometimes
stuff comes up,
you
right?
believe something's true.
It's true.
You're right.
You will be telling the truth if you think it's the truth.
Exactly. So there's a lot of interesting stuff like that. It's a cool little community. There's friendships and the different reasons why. They really explore the different reasons why people lie, and the fact that there are good lies and bad lies. And it's not always a bad thing to tell a lie that protects other people. But if your lies are done to hurt other people, then that's a problem. And she's not going to let you get away with that crap. So it's very cute. The main detective is the guy who was the main character in that like family Yakuza show that I watched last year or earlier this year. So he's delightful. I really enjoy him. And he's just, his character is really nice. Like, he just accepts her. He figures out that, you know, and she confesses it and everything, that she can hear lies. And he, yes, wants to use that, but also is like, that's cool. Like, that's a cool ability. He doesn't just think she's creepy or weird or whatever. And she's never had that before. She's never had somebody just accept her for who she is. So she's appreciating having that in her life. So it's good.
He's also the dude from Me to You, and he was really fun, cute in that. So
he's a cutie. He does lots of fun faces and stuff. It's fun. it's fun. It's interesting and it's cute and like fun to watch because of the costuming and stuff and the like old cars and the, you know, all that kind of neat stuff. But the mysteries are also like sometimes they're very obvious, but sometimes they're not at all. And you're like, oh, okay, that was a story you just told me. That was wild. So like, but not like, it's never so, I can handle it, right? Like it's on the lighter end of like murder mysteries and things, not the like
heavy end.
So far anyway, it's like halfway through.
It's not Gangnam B-Side?
No. No, it is not. So it's much more chill. So, but it's good. It's fun. I'm enjoying it so far. And I hope Vicky does get it so more people can find it without having to, you know, explore places.
Well, that From Me to You kid is in it.
Like, that's...
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like, the poster is just one of those very typical, it's like a pink background and a guy and a girl smiling at the camera. You know, like, it's just that very typical... It looks like it's a rom-com. Like, if you didn't know, you would assume it's a Japanese rom-com. Like, so, I just hopefully somebody at Vicky doesn't know, and they just look and go, oh,
they're like, oh,
look, pink.
Or maybe they got it for later.
Yeah.
So on Halloween, Netflix dropped a Thai drama that I'm pretty sure it's produced by them. And it's called Don't Come Home. And I watched it like within a couple of days after that. It's only 6 episodes, so it was a really easy binge. I'm like fairly positive I watched it like the entirety of one day. But it's an interesting drama that like half of it I cannot tell you at all about because you have to experience it. But essentially, the premise of the drama is about a woman who leaves her abusive husband with her young daughter and flees to her family's mansion that's like pretty much abandoned. So like nobody's there. So she's like fleeing, taking her daughter to this place. Weird stuff starts to happen at the mansion. Specifically things that the daughter is seeing, like lights flickering, seeing figures in places, and like the daughter is just like not having a good time at this house. She's just not. She's also very young. Like she's probably like 6, 7. She's a young kid. And the mom is just trying to like be like, you have to like, this is our like only option. Like, or I can't go anywhere else. We don't have money. And then the daughter disappears, and it's very weird the way that it happens. And so then it's like you go from this like creepy like ghost mystery to child being gone, and you have like a cop show coming in. And so it's like there's the investigation on this kid, because it's also weird, like nobody can actually like verify that she has this kid with her too. And so it does a bunch of different twists and turns, and then halfway through the show it does the craziest twist that I was never expecting at all.
Okay, I gotta watch this.
And
I gotta find out.
Where is this show going? But I enjoyed it. It's like it kept you guessing a lot. And also like I was like, oh, okay, I see how we're doing this, and I kind of see I wish I could like explain more about stuff, but it would give away a lot of things, like kind of like the basic, but like it does kind of deal with generational trauma and like females and having to deal with a lot of things. And so it kind of goes like through a couple of different genres. I will say at the very beginning, it has like House on a Haunted Hill, like type vibes. Like you keep on, you're like, oh, is there going to be like a ghost showing up? Like, is this house like completely haunted? What's going on? And like the kid is seeing like most of it, so there's a lot of creepiness to it, and then it gets into a lot of other things as well. But it was like a lot of fun to like kind of sit through a show like that where you're like, oh, I just wasn't expecting this to go this way.
Like, I have no idea that this was about to happen to me. Okay.
It was like a complete surprise, and I was like, well, I'm here for the ride. Let's go. Let's watch this like fun little show. And it's on Netflix, so it's easy to watch and like find and just like throw on the TV and just watch through the entire thing, especially with 6 episodes. I had a lot of fun, and I don't think a lot of people have watched it, which is why I wanted to like highlight it.
Yeah.
So like if you're kind of into like mystery thrillers, this is like a good like show to watch, especially like watching like Netflix has Thai shows, but I don't think they do like, or if at all, like produce Thai shows. Or like very
I don't think there are very many of them.
Yeah, like I feel like they don't like. There's like a couple, if any, and they're older. Like, so it's kind of like nice to watch a different country on Netflix. Like, I feel like, you know, when you watch Thai shows, you're kind of like always going on to YouTube and like watching like GMM or something like,
because
but
that's what's easy to find.
Yeah, and it's like those that's like kind of the number one place they want to be. So it was kind of fun watching it on a different platform with you know, some Netflix money. It does have the only person I recognize in it, it's her name is Cindy Bishop. Do you know her? Yeah, like, so she's a I only know her because she does like some TikToks. Like, she has a TikTok channel, and she like kind of talks about her life. She's been on a bunch of things. Like, I know if you're like into Thai shows, you're really into her. But she was like in F4. I think a lot of people know her from F4. She was also in The Crown Princess, so that's where I like first knew her from. But
that's a real blast from the past, right?
But she's cool, and I really like her, and I really like her as an actress, and her role in this is good. And the little girl who's playing, you know, the daughter is great as well, and she's in a lot of it.
She's very little.
Yeah.
This is literally her only thing she's ever done,
and she's in most of it. Like, she's a pivotal like role, and like not just like there in the background kind of pivotal. She's like the one of the main characters. But yeah, it is fun. Like, it's just a fun kind of ride to see the kind of the way it weaves in, and has like kind of the spooky ghost story aspect to it as well. So
nice.
Yeah. Cool. Sky.
So I watched like an American show.
Oh, what?
Weird.
Okay.
It's called Interior Chinatown. It's on Hulu. That's why I just saw it in passing when I was paging through the Hulu catalog.
And
it looked interesting, and then I read the synopsis, and I went, wait, because I will read the synopsis. Willis Wu, a background actor in a procedural cop show called Black and White, he's relegated to the background, and he goes through the motions of like being a waiter, and he kind of goes from being the background character to, I think, slowly becoming a more main character on this procedural cop show. Like, so it's very like story within a fictional story situation. It's not quite That's Extraordinary fun. You level of like, we're all fictitious. Like, it's not quite doing that, but it is, oh, I'm just a waiter. And then like, well, you got to take some chances, man. And so it's also very purposefully like cheesy, because like the writing is supposed to be like that. I want to say it was Taika Waititi. Like, he was I don't remember if he was the director or the writer or both. So that's why I was paying really close attention. I was like, whoa. Like, what is this about? And so like, I will say I'm not like blown away by it yet, but it's because I'm only an episode and a half in because I was playing the like sample lot of stuff game. But it's pretty funny. It's couched in like a parody of procedural cop shows. Like that is, since he's like, he pretty much he starts off going to his like coworker, who I think is a part of his family. I don't know, but he was like, man, if I could just like find a body and be a witness to a crime, I feel like I do something in my life. And so then he very soon sees a girl get abducted. A couple scenes later, the main characters of this procedural cop show, not the actors, because he's in the show, they're like right outside the door of the restaurant, and he's trying to open the door to like go, he wants to go tell them about that he saw this abduction. He can't open the door. But then when they leave, the door opens. And so like there's a lot of this small stuff that happens, or there's a point where machinations happen and he's trying to get into the police precinct building because someone wanted him to go in there, and he physically cannot do it because like streams of people keep coming out, and he keeps trying for like 30 minutes to get into this building, and he can't physically do it. And so, and then the way they use the lighting, sometimes it's like, oh, we're in a scene. So, but I mean, it's obvious, but like aspects of it aren't obvious anyway. And so when you see the like two main characters from the procedural show, it's super cheesy lines. So it's, you know, it's really like, oh ho, you know, it's really pretty funny. And then he, you know, there's stuff about like, you know, his brother passed, or his brother went missing, and he was like a really big kung fu guy. So like kung fu's an aspect of this. But he's just like this normal guy. Nothing ever happens in Chinatown, and then oh no, stuff starts happening in Chinatown.
A classic.
It's really fun so far. I'm definitely going to keep watching it, and I really wanted to talk about it because I feel like a lot of people would really appreciate this show. Like, it's pretty silly. This is not taking itself seriously, but like the way they're telling the story of how they're making it a fictional character. Kind of being like, I don't think he's going, I'm fictional, but it is, I want to become a main character, essentially. And I think by the end, he kind of is able to eventually do that a little bit. And at least the first few titles of each episode, they're pretty fun titles. Let me see. Like, Episode 1, Generic Asian Man. Episode 2, Delivery Guy. Episode
They're all
3,
like
Tech Guy.
The like background characters, like names in the credits.
It always ends up being him, but like that's
so funny.
He levels up to be like maybe
that's
Tech
so
Guy. Like that's
fun. I like that.
Yeah.
And
I think I'm gonna have to
the
watch
title of the last one looked like it's Willis Woo. Like so I think he finally levels up to get to like be a main character.
That's cool.
That's very fun.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people would really appreciate they'd get a really big kick out of it. They're pretty short episodes from what I remember. They're really easy to watch. It's not like a lot of, you know, the abduction, it was not like Gangnam B-Side. It was not gruesome. It was very much like, and then even later he's like, I saw that girl again. Well, but she was dead, but I saw her again. So it's very, to me, we're not quite Truman Show level. Like it doesn't feel quite like that, but it feels just enough to where it's like this fictional plain parody stuff. So like it's pretty fascinating. I think it'd be even funnier. The reality is like I'm not steeped in the police procedural. Like I really don't know a lot about how they function, so I'm only going off of the assumptions I have about police procedural. So I'm sure
those 3 episodes of Law and Order you watched are really coming in clutch.
Right. So I'm sure, like, you know, I know that you gals like to watch them more, so like you might get even more of a kick out of it. Or because I know I'm also, I don't have a huge background in like kung fu type movies or send-ups or shows like that, and I know that's like a whole genre of stuff that I haven't even really set my toe in. But I think people that appreciate that type of thing would probably even like that because like his dad like started a kung fu school. Like, I mean, there's kind of bits of that too. So like you have a lot of stuff going that I think a lot of people would appreciate. Also, it's just so funny because like the show that he's on or whatever, it's called Black and White, and it's the lead cops. It's a white girl and a black guy.
Yeah, of course.
And they always show the names.
This just like brings me back to like the show Clone High, because they did this exact same joke, but it was black and tan because it was like a black guy and an Indian guy, and then
it showed like the names. So like it would have the like actress name and her last name. I don't remember if it was Taylor or Green. I don't remember like which last names, but like the actress name, her last name was her character's last name, like detective blah blah, and then same thing with the guy, like actor name. So like all of it was just, it's like, this is just silly, like it's just funny.
Yeah.
That sounds really fun.
So I think if you want a little laugh, I mean, you're not going to get anything super deep, but like maybe there's a big twist. Like I said, I'm only an episode and a half.
Yeah, you never know.
There could be like some huge, and Taika, he does some funny, like you never know what he's going to get up to. So like it kind of makes me wonder. Also, like there was even like kind of a little like bittersweet moment with the dad character. So like we might get some pretty heartfelt stuff. I can't tell. I just know it's pretty funny when he's trying to get into the police station. Like, you know. Or it's, oh no, suddenly there's like these gang members coming into the restaurant and having a huge fight and breaking everything. He's like, this literally never happens. Why is this happening? You know? So
fun.
I think a lot of people would really, so interior Chinatown, Hulu, I don't know about elsewhere.
It is on Disney Plus, according to Google.
Disney Plus for Canada.
Listen, if it's not, I'll cut out me saying this. If you can hear me saying this, it is on Disney Plus.
If you're a Chloe Bennett fan, like she is, so you have the two lead detective characters, and then there's this third detective character who she gets brought in to be like the Asian detective to help with the Chinatown investigation.
No, perfect.
So there's always that, like, you kind of eventually hear the white detective lady eventually is like kind of complaining about that. It's like, you know, so there's stuff with that. So
I'm gonna have to check.
I think a lot of people would like it. Yeah. So yeah, for English language show for you, but it felt applicable to share.
So before we leave you, we're going to do a speed round where we very quickly throw up some other things we've been watching, not in too much detail, unless there's something really funny to say about it, then, you know, we get ahead of ourselves. And let me tell you, if you just watch Beyond Goodbye, and you're like, damn, I learned so much about coffee, I've been continuing watching Brewing Love, so you can learn so much about beer. Over there, you can just get two of my husband's favorite drinks coming and going. Like, we were very accurate, by the way, in our last week's episode where we talked about the vibes continuing. Like, it is going exactly as we predicted.
Good.
And I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it, genuinely. For some reason, I cannot justify why every week I continue to do this. But I have been keeping up with Bad Guy, My Boss over on Kahulala. Is it good? No. But like every week I'm like, okay, let's find out what bathroom that has curtains in it they're gonna have sex in this week. And I can't, like, it's not good. It's not a good show. It's not even like but I'm just like, I gotta see this through. Like I'm almost at the end, you know, like where you've watched so much of it that you're like, okay, everyone's working hard on this show. They all put in effort. I gotta finish it. And it's not bad enough for me to stop watching it. You know what I mean? Like it's not like reprehensible. It's just not good. But if you like it, that's fine. I just don't think it's that good. We can disagree and still be friends on these things. It's okay. However, speaking of enjoyable, I watched the first episode of The Heart Killers, which is like the new First Cow Jung Dunk show. It's on iQIYI. Loved it. Basic premise: two half brothers are guns for hire, and there's two best friends. One's a tattoo artist and one's a mechanic. And the tattoo artist had a bit of a shady past in his youth as a car thief. So now he's under the thumb of a cop who's like, hey, I need you to go, like, he uses him as an informant, essentially. And is like, I need you to get close to these two assassins. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, he's like, hey, do you want to, like, keep your tattoo parlor and send your brother to school? Because he has, like, a little cute little brother. And he's like, oh, fine. But turns out that one of the guys that he had a epic one night stand with, and the guy ghosted him the next day, and he's like, well, I might actually have fun with this one. It's like the music is good, except like there was a few points. This is my only criticism of the first episode, is that sometimes the music transitions were not done very well, so it would just like abruptly stop one song and then start another song, and you're like, okay, calm down, like you gotta crossfade this bit, like chill out. But like I actually really like the musical choices, and like the stylistic choices are very cool, so I'm really enjoying it. I've also on Gago I've been watching the Japanese remake of Love in the Air. I was really it's not like a one-to-one remake. So they're doing some new things. But the one thing that I hope that they would do, they're not doing, which is in the original Love in the Air, it was two very distinct stories. So it's like the first 7 episodes were one couple, and then the next one. I was hoping they would kind of like combine them. So it was like, but it seems like they're not really doing that, and they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna do it exactly. I think it would be a better show if they combined, but it's fine. It's very much JBL. So I'm very intrigued by it, because the aesthetics and the timing and the writing styles of Japanese BLs are very different from Thai BLs. So I'm like, actually, I was like, when I heard they were like remaking it, I was like, I gotta see what they come up with. They're gonna do. Yeah, what are we doing here? And it's very much JBL style. It's not like they were trying to like copy the Thai BL styling whatsoever. So it is interesting in that note. I did finish First Note of Love. It's a Taiwanese BL over in Gagula. It was fine. It was fine. But it was I had like a bunch of dramas that I had like 2 episodes left on, and I was like, okay. So I finished it, and it was fine. Another on that note was by Man is Cupid over on Prime. I finally finished. It didn't take me like 6 months, maybe, but I
had such a good start, though.
Yeah. And here's the thing, and I genuinely liked the show, but I just couldn't get myself. My brain don't work right. Okay,
no,
I just couldn't get myself to finish it. But it was fun. It was a cute show. It was very fun. I enjoyed it. I've also in places been watching the Japanese drama The Reasons We Fall in Love. It's a very classic, like, office rom-com where it's like 3 different couples, blah, blah, blah. But I do have one problem with the show. And that is the main character, her main plot arc is that she's supposedly, she's really tall.
And she's not.
And people like comment on how tall she is. You would expect, if people were gonna comment on how tall you are, and you would at least be taller than the male lead. Am I?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. She's a normal sized woman, and like she's not that much taller than anyone else. So I'm just sitting here like,
okay.
Why is this random man in an elevator being like, damn, look at the size of you, when she is a normal-looking, normal-sized Japanese woman? What are you talking about?
That's...
Like,
it would not have been that hard to find an actor.
Find a tall actress. It's like otherwise the show is really great, but my brain can't get over the fact that this woman is not that tall. This woman is not that big. Like, she doesn't look taller than the people around her. She looks perfectly like, and so it's like no one would ever comment.
It's like when they have the actress playing the quote-unquote fat actress, and she's exactly the same size as the other actress. She just has a round face, and you're
and you're just like,
that's not how fat works. Like,
that's not fat. That's just a different face structure. You're all crazy. But anyway, it is a cute show. Like this is, but I'm just like, she ain't that tall though. Like, yeah, okay, sure, she wears low heels and all the other women wear high heels.
Speaking
but she's still
of
not
someone
that
that is taller than the average woman, like people don't comment if you're like even 4 or 5 inches taller than the average woman. It's not a thing.
Listen, you gotta be hitting 6 feet. You gotta be hitting 6 feet.
You have to be taller than the guys around you. That's when people will start to say something.
She's not even that much taller than the women around her. Like no one would comment on this woman. So anyway, it's my one criticism. Is like I really enjoy it because there's like a really cute side couple with like a really buff workout dude with a heart of gold, a bit of a himbo, and then like the cute office girl who's like totally in love with him, but he thinks that she likes the more conventionally attractive main character. I eat that shit up. You know what I mean? That's just like my love story. That my love story is a different is a manga that I really like. That's the main plot of that one too. Anyway, regardless, I'm enjoying it. I also have been watching Love Game in Eastern Fantasy. So fun. Very heavy on the comedy. So if you're not really looking for a C-drama fantasy style comedy, like it always, with these C-drama, they always go like a little comedy and then tragedy and then comedy and then tragedy and then inappropriate comedy on top of tragedy, like, but it is very fun. And I'm like, I think on like episode 16 or something, and it is I've been really enjoying it. There's a really cute little kid playing a demon spirit that's a bamboo sprout, and he turns himself into a little bamboo hairpin that the main character carries him around until like help her out. It's really cute. The main leads are really nice. There's Esther Wu in it. She's sort of dumb, but it's okay because like she's also been isekai'd into like a fantasy novel that she didn't really like that much because she thought it was kind of stupid the way it ended. So now she's like, oh, frig it. Now but she's like a villain in it. She's like, no, we ain't doing that. So and then it's like one of those where there's a computer system that's like, hello, game user, like you have to complete this goal to escape. So she has to make the guy who hates her like her in order to anyway, it's cute and it's everything that it promised it would be. From like, if you looked at the poster, that's what you're gonna see. Like that poster is what you're getting it for. It did not lie. And finally, I also have an American show. Yes. An English language show.
Often it's a Canadian show.
It's not Canadian, I don't think. I don't know where it is made. It is an animated show. And so when I love painting nails, and I spend hours at a time painting nails, but I can't watch a foreign language thing when I paint nails because I want to I can't read while I paint. So I picked up Arcane on Netflix. Oh, yeah. And I had heard how good it was, but I was like, it's based on League of Legends. How good can it be? Nah, I was wrong. It was so good. I'm like, I'm not done season 1 yet, but it is insanely good. Like, it is, Sky, the entire time I was watching, I was like, ooh, I should tell Sky to watch this.
Yeah. So, it's one of those things that I know, like, if I watch that,
you're gonna become
that's obsessed. Gonna be a rabbit hole, isn't it?
Yeah,
like, I know I won't be coming back from it once I watch it.
And there is a little bit of K entertainment because like a lot of K-pop people do make songs. Like Stray Kids just made one, Baekhyun has one. Like so on the soundtrack, and the soundtrack is killer. But like the animation is so good, and the story is really good, and like the voice acting is incredible. I really like Arcane, and I think everyone should check it out. And cool. I've been loving it. That's it for me. Amanda, what else have you been watching?
I'm also still watching Brewing Love. I'm really enjoying it. It has a nice little healing drama aspect to it, which is just adds.
It has good energy to it. Yeah. It's got good energy. Yeah.
So I'm still watching Iron Family, the weekender of nonsense. Absolute nonsense. It just keeps on nonsensing, and I'm
the weekender way.
Loving it. I tried the new drama Marry You, and that's going to be a no for me. But I know a lot of people are really enjoying it, and I can very much see why. Like, it's nonsense. It's very nonsense. But I don't like the female lead. I don't know what it is. So, like, if you're going to watch nonsense, you got to enjoy the people you're nonsensing with. And I'm not. So, yeah. Still watching You Are My Lover Friend, the C-drama about friends and they're at the place that I'm at right now. They're like, they both are thinking, hey, but what if maybe, but both think that the other one has no interest, and they are both too scared to like risk their friendship by confessing to each other. So
classic.
Yeah. Where it's annoying but cute. So and you know, of course, One Piece.
Yeah.
I mean,
listen, you'll be watching that till you die.
Right.
Basically.
It's a family legacy. You're taking it to the grave with you. Don't worry about it.
We finished the Dressrosa arc, which I really enjoyed, actually, but like every arc on One Piece, it's about 30 episodes too long. But, you know, is what it is. We did sit and think about it at one point, and we were like, why do they keep giving us all of these, like, flashback, you know, scenes of like, what they... And we're like, if you were watching this as a year, that was 2.5 years ago.
It's like a needed
all right, that's fair. That is fair.
We gotta remind you about things that you would have definitely forgotten about.
Well, we were like... They showed something. We're like, oh, that's right, that kid, and all these people. We're like, that's why they came to this island in the first place with that guy. Oh yeah. Okay. So okay, fair. You know, we're past the halfway mark. So
there you go.
You know,
you've reached a turning point.
We're in this thing for life.
So for me, I haven't been on what we're watching in a very long time. Not that I have been watching stuff, but I will say, I think like one of the last times I was on, I was talking about my horror movie challenge where I was going to watch 100 horror movies that were new to me from August 1st to October 31st. I did complete that, so I'm very excited. Very little of them were foreign films, because I had to.
It is what it is. Because you gotta
do life.
Yes, it's the same. When you're doing stuff, you can't read and do the stuff you're doing.
I had such limited time, and like, so it was like sometimes I could like throw on a movie at work, but still be actively working, or like come home and then be doing like home stuff. So I had to know. But I have a list on Letterboxd. I'm winding a K-drama there. You can find it, so you can see all the movies I watched. Probably like half of them were found footage. I just like let Tubi like roll my life basically for all those horror movies. So
you just lean back and said, "Whatever you give me, Tubi, I'll be watching it."
And then it'd be like, "Oh, I've already seen this, so we have to skip this." Okay.
Next.
Yeah.
Randomize. Go.
But I have picked up some stuff like recently. I'm trying to get back into watching stuff, especially so I can watch stuff for end of the year purposes. Out of completed dramas, I finally finished Destiny, which is the J-drama on Netflix. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. It is like a stacked cast, so I really was hoping it was going to be better. It's the Ishihara Satomi one, where like her and her boyfriend, there are things happened, and like there's also like things between her boyfriend's dad and her dad, and it's like mystery and political mystery and all this stuff. It kind of was just like trying to do so much and not a good writing to back it up. So it's fine. I did watch the K-drama. This is how like backed up I am. I finally watched Parasite the Grey on Netflix. I really liked it. I thought it was fun. It is perfectly, I mean, like that sort of like body horror type is gonna be.
I liked it too. It was fun.
It's gonna be what I like. I like the surprise at the end. of that one that I'm not going to tell you about. You just have to watch it. I also finished The Bequeath, which is by the same guy that's done like Train to Busan and Hellbound, that guy.
That was on Netflix too.
Yeah, it is also on Netflix, K-drama. It was pretty good. It is got some weird stuff happen. Just like weird family stuff, weird family stuff.
Weird shit. Weird shit.
So that was the thing. I think they kind of sidelined the main female a little bit too much for a story that I didn't care about, but whatever. In terms of what I'm like watching, there's this J-drama that's on Viki right now. Right now, it's always on. But Because You Gave Me Your Heart, I actually started this. I may have even talked about it on the podcast. I started it when it was airing earlier in the year, and then I kind of let it go, and Viki picked it up. So I am currently watching that. It is not someone giving a heart. However, it is about a girl who has come back to her town. She sees the guy that she really likes. He like basically immediately gets hit by a car and is like dying. And she rushes over to him. Grim Reapers come and she's like, I'll do anything. And they're like, we will take away your 5 senses and he can live. And she was like, sure. So it's like basically her losing her each like a sense every couple of episodes while she's still like having like a relationship with him. And so it's kind of like bittersweet, more like about family and stuff. It's pretty good.
Wow.
Airing on Netflix right now is Okura Cold Case Investigation. Is a Japanese drama. It's just kind of like a procedural drama where it's a couple of cops and they are focusing on cold case investigations, which is not like a very big thing in Japan, I guess. And also the 2 main cops, like one's like old and like kind of like rogue in his ways, and the other young cop who's like very
hip cop,
but he's very strict, and like he also like thinks of things very like
black and white
like
type.
and so he doesn't actually like connect with things, and so he doesn't actually connect with like the human side of people, like that sort of thing. It's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. And airing J-drama on Netflix, sure, pick it up.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah.
I am a little over halfway through The Frog, which is a K-drama again on Netflix. I am really like it. It's intense and it's a crazy psychological thriller, and you don't know what it's going on, but it just like keeps you guessing. And the actress who I've forgotten her name and I'm not gonna look it up. She's in Sweet Home.
Sweet Home.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's fantastic in it. It's creepy and weird, but like not in like a horror creepy, well, like maybe like a cat and mouse horror creepy, not like a paranormal creepy. It just like keeps you guessing. There's really no way to like describe what's going on without like giving details, but also like everything's so interconnected and hasn't finished the story. So like I have to finish the story to like fully talk about it. But I'm into it. I did start What Comes After Love, the J-drama / K-drama.
Yeah.
The one.
It's on Viki.
But it's on Viki. It's a mellow, so I'm into it. I'm just like, I'll watch it like an episode or two. Yeah, it's very mellow. But they're great in it. Another airing J-drama that I'm watching on Netflix is AARO. It's All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. It is like essentially budget X-Files. It's nowhere near the greatness that is X-Files, but like if you watch the show, you'll be like, oh my gosh, this is like a J-drama that was like built for Jessie. It's literally it's episodes of cases, something happens and it's like supernatural or paranormal or something, and so perfect. I did start the K-drama Doubt, which is on Viki. I watched the first episode. I'm really into it. But at the time it was still airing, and I decided that I wanted to wait for it all to finish for that one, because it's got like some like it purposely makes you not trust every single character, and you don't know what's going on. So I think like it was going to be a good one to kind of keep watching and not have to wait weeks.
Yeah.
And then just today, Netflix dropped Invisible Us, which is a J-drama, and I watched a couple of episodes of it because of course I did.
Why not?
It is from this year, but like they're not doing it as an airing thing. They dropped all the episodes. It's essentially about a girl who's a journalist. There's like an incident that happens, like a stabbing incident where she is, and she thinks it's potentially someone she went to high school with or like knew in high school. So she's trying to do this investigation, and then it's kind of also like flashing back to like times of like her in high school and like the friend group and stuff. And so like maybe there's some things that like can lead to what is going on. It's like very much like a thriller. But the main actress is the main actress from Coffee and Vanilla. So like the entire time I'm watching it, I'm like, this is a very different character than Coffee and Vanilla.
This drama actually has a bit of history with this podcast, because this was the drama that I watched an unsubbed trailer of to come up with what I thought the premise was during our What's Coming Up live stream. What's Coming Up September live stream. I was like, okay, here's what I think it's about.
I guess I could see it being crazy, yeah. But it's very straightforward. It's a very straightforward drama. You watch it and you're like, oh, something's happened. There's something weird. Is it someone she knows or not? Like, and she's like, investigating it. It seems good. I've watched 2 episodes, and I think it really only has like 6 or 8 episodes, so it's not a long one. But that's it for now. I'm breaking away at that watch list, hopefully.
Just crack it away. Chip it away. Sky, take us home. Take us home, Sky.
So I watched all of a drama special. It was 1 episode. Drama special season 15, Find Handsome. This was the one that was about the like failed idol group.
Right.
Interesting. I will say it really wasn't that good. Like I think most people would not really care to watch it. I actually thought
they can't all be winners.
I personally thought it was fine, but it wasn't like earth-shattering by any means. Essentially, it starts when it shows like when they were an active idol group, and you're supposed to believe that these were when they were younger. They look the exact same age, they look 30s. I'm not sure what we were doing with that. And as far as all the stage name, you see them getting given their stage names by, it's one of them's uncle is like the manager of this production company that's like, we picked your stage names. And it was very much like tall, shy, cutie,
wow,
handsome. Like it really was not. And they're all like, are you serious right now? They were not happy. And they're like the 5 princes or something. I don't remember. Essentially the handsome character, you eventually see like they at least get to be an active idol group at least for some period of time. They have some modicum of success, I believe. But he says, I don't want to be an idol anymore. I want to go act. Peace. Like he leaves. And then of course like the group eventually falls apart. And so then we pick up like 15 years later, I think. They look exactly the same. Anyway, whatever.
It's a plastic surgery.
They took the hair down on the from down on the forehead.
I'm not sure we even did much of that.
Oh,
I'm not. It was very like we all look exactly the same.
Don't think about it.
They're just naturally youthful. Either they're naturally youthful or they're just really old looking young people.
And I won't bore you with their particulars, but essentially handsome, successful actor. But like you see him like in an interview, and it's obvious that he's not happy. Like he's struggling, and then he goes missing. And then for machinations, the other guys who are not in contact with him anymore because they kind of like were mad at him for leaving forever ago. kind of for their own personal gain type reasons, they go try to find him. Like, that's why they do it. Because essentially one of them vented a little too much publicly about being mad at him, and so now his name is like Pooh, and so like if he doesn't want the public to hate him for an eternity and a half, he better go find this guy. But then by the time you finally find him, our hearts have softened toward,
Yeah.
It's okay to let dreams go, blah, blah, blah. It was the friends we made along the way 15 years ago. Like, it's fine. And then come to find out, like, he had reasons why he left. Of course he did.
Of course he did.
It's not...
They always do. They always do.
So, I mean, but was it well done, touching? I really wouldn't really necessarily recommend this to anyone. That's why I'm telling you so much. Like, I really... There you go. Saved you some time.
It is what it is.
It's fine. Because drama specials and me, I have a pretty low bar. I'm cool with like lots of stuff, and usually I'll even praise them to this guys. I'm not really praising this one. I think it's pretty boring.
Like, it was watchable.
It exists. And then pretty much the other thing I watched was I caught up on a few more episodes of Love Is Poison. It's a J-drama BL currently airing on Netflix. They're probably a little bit slower than like what's airing in Japan, but like anyway, pretty much you have a super straight-laced lawyer and like I don't even know what to call him. He's really sweet, so like I don't want to misconstrue his character, but like supposedly from the underground kind of informant type guy, like kind of sketchy con man, supposedly. He doesn't have the sketchy vibes at all. He's very sweet. So like do whatever you will with that. But pretty much he's trying to kind of break into this lawyer's heart, essentially. And it's pretty cute. The lawyer character has succulents. Like, instead of having other pets, he has a lot of succulents that he talks to. And they kind of make these little squeaky noises, like as if they're talking to him. And then, like, you know, of course, there's some, like, cohabitation happening at some point. And so, like, the con artist guy, like, talks to the succulents too, and the succulents love it. Like, it's a whole thing. So like it's very cute, it's very silly, none of it makes sense.
I just started it. It's cute. I've enjoyed it.
It's like it's very silly.
It's one of those sort of like really offbeat JBLs. Like, it's one of like the weird
almost
ones.
break the fourth wall the entire time.
It's
where it's like
just very silly.
Like the main dude's personality is like so uptight that he's like repressed, you know, and then you get it's fun. It's fun. It's a fun show.
It's a pretty. I think what's kind of fun about it is that lawyer character. He has a best friend, who is another lawyer who does like pro bono work mostly, and he's a gay guy who's been in a relationship for a really long time, and so like it's obvious that our lead lawyer guy, like he's never had a relationship. He just has not done anything like that at all. And so whenever he finally kind of figures out I might be having feelings for a guy, his friend's like, what, are you like confused about anything? And he's like, no, I understand. Like, I've been friends with you for like, you know, I get it. You don't have to explain it to me. I know what's going on. There's camping. That was a thing for me too. There's camping twice so far. But I also, what was kind of funny was Netflix does this. I just wasn't paying attention. I actually thought it was a 6-episode show. So I thought, oh, I'm going to like crank this out and be done. It's a 12-episoder. So like I got to episode 6. I was like, oh,
you got it.
Okay.
You got bamboozled.
I thought this was already done airing. That was on me. And that's when I went and I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to go watch Interior Chinatown. Bye.
Bye.
So that's what we watched.
Very fun. And that's what you just watched, because we are now done with this episode. Thank you for hanging out with us. As always, we are wherever podcasts can be found. We're also in video on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe, I guess. Okay, if you're not, you can find us there if you want to look at our faces while we talk it. And you can also find us on our website, certifiednoonas.com. It's our home on the web, where we have every single episode you can listen to. Every single episode. And there's a lot of episodes. We've been going for a while.
We really have.
And there's links and time codes to all of them as well, and you can check those out there. And if you want to support this podcast, like the incredible people in our Found Family, you can join the Found Family over on patreon.com/certified Noonas. They're a Found Family on the web. We love them. We give them little mini extra episodes here and there. We do a movie night every month, and genuinely they pay the bills. They help us. Well, the bills. They pay for our hosting is what it covers. Listen, this is not a money-making venture. We're not making
if it could be, that'd be so great.
Oh yeah, man.
But like, listen, we're here more to just provide you with weekly joy in these dark times, and we hope that we have done that. Anyway, we hope that you stay safe. Flu season is upon us. I wouldn't know or anything, but anyway, and I am about to tell you to do something that I do and still sound this terrible. Wash your hands. Please wear a mask when you're out in public, which I do. I wear a high quality one, and I'm still this garbage right now. Anyway. But I would be more garbage more of the time if I didn't. So,
there you go.
Anyway, and keep enjoying Asian entertainment. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.